Hey everybody, if anybody's here, don't know yet. One person is in the room with me. How's it going, whoever's here? So welcome to a very bit of a subdued Saturday night hockey talk, considering everything that's going on in this crazy world of ours. So who's in the room with me? Anyway, like I said, very subdued. There's lots going on in the world. We can talk about anything tonight if you want to talk about hockey. Hey David, how's it going? Talk hockey, we can talk world events. Topics are open. Wolf Beans, I'm doing okay. Just a little somber with the world events, what's going on in the U.S., I guess. Actually, it's kind of going on around the world. Sports King, got a bot in the room early. How's it going? I don't think I've seen you for a while. So good to see you back. I hope everybody out there is doing good. MJ, how's it going? Lots to talk about, I guess, with the announcement. I guess it was since Saturday, right? The announcement about the what's going on with the NHL kind of gets lost with everything that's going on in the world. Every morning, last 2 mornings anyway, I get up in the morning. One of the first things I look at is Twitter, and it starts out really bad the last 2 days. So just it's sad to see what's going on in the world. Sad to see about that poor guy. Yeah, just a video. I watched it, and I'll tell you, I regret having watched that video. Not for the guy, but I mean, it's just very disturbing. And yeah, I heard something about this shooting. I don't know. And something else earlier today, somebody was asking me, and I can't remember now what it was, but yeah. Sports King, Habs in 5. Let's go. Yeah, you know, I know I did the video. I said I really want them to get the draft pick, which I do. But you know what? So somebody put out, or I read it somewhere, that it's true. I think it's Gallagher, actually, that said, you know, draft pick is nothing guaranteed. And if you're a hockey player and you have a chance to play for the cup, that's about all you ever ask for. And yeah, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, if they're going to be in, let's go all the way. I mean, anyways, I said it in my video. If they're going to win, I'm going to be right along there cheering. So I'm not being unhappy. Joe, how's it going? But yeah, I mean, I kind of just don't see it though. We'll have to see. I don't like the fact that more than likely Domi's not going to play, although maybe Romanov is. So we're going to find out. So that's actually good news. There is that Romanov might play. So we'll see. That would be really good. The announcement for that it's pushed back till July 1st. So we'll find that out. And apparently camps, you should expect training camps to probably open around the 10th of July. Drouin's going to be our MVP because, of course, he will be. He's Jonathan Drouin. Of course, that's from Joe. So is the draft coming first or round robin? I'm not sure what you mean by that. The draft? You, not now. Don't scream at me. I'm on camera. The draft will be after the playoff, after everything. So the draft won't happen. It's the draft lottery that's going to be before. The round robin is part of the to decide who's going to be the. Let me say this again. The top 4 teams in each conference, they're going to play round robin each conference to determine the seeding 1 to 4. So that's going to come before the draft, obviously, yeah. And yeah, the draft is coming after everything, and the draft lottery is coming, I think, the 26th. I don't know if that's 100% official, the 26th, but that's what they said. Don't I love the underdog story? If the Habs win the Stanley Cup, truly underdog story. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, listen, if they win the cup, well, yeah, there's not much more underdog. The team that didn't make the playoffs really shouldn't have, and come back and win the cup. You know, it'd be weird. I mean, if something like that happens, say Montreal, maybe Chicago, you know, they come all the way to win the cup. It's kind of 2 years in a row, right? You got St. Louis, who was January 3rd was the last place. Then they won the cup. Be 2 years in a row with like a big story. So yeah, that could be very interesting. Why Toronto Maple Leafs can't beat Boston Bruins right now? Toronto might not have to play. Look, if Toronto, first of all, they got to beat Columbus, which I'm not saying they can't, but I don't think you should count Columbus out, but Toronto might not have to play the Bruins in the long run, depending on how the seeding goes. If Boston doesn't win that round robin that they're going to have, they won't be in first. So Toronto might not have to play them. So it could be, who knows? I'm sure Toronto doesn't want to have to play Boston. Wolverine, hey, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're still doing well, eh? How you doing? Joe, I hope Byron continues the momentum he was on before the season ended. He was beasting before this pandemic. Yeah, he sure as hell was. I hope so too. Just remember though, guys, right? The season's not on for sure yet, eh? Right? The announcement wasn't, oh yeah, we're playing. They don't know yet. They're hoping to start phase 2 because that phase 2 hasn't started yet. And then hopefully they get through to phase 4. Phase 4 is actual play. Wolf Beans, Leafs lost to a Zamboni driver. I think they are getting beaten first round at least. Against Columbus, I think they've got a chance, but I actually I put Columbus as was it the number 1 team for the surprise teams? But Columbus could be a really big surprise team. I think Tortorella is coaching; he gets the most out of those guys, and yeah, they're an underrated team, I think, a little bit, and yeah. Toronto should be. If I were Toronto, I'd be worried about playing with the Blue Jackets. I wouldn't worry about Boston right now. I'd be worried about the Blue Jackets. MJ, by the time hockey returns in August, it will be like having 2 off seasons. Yeah, but the thing is, once think about there won't be much of it. Once the playoffs are done, like if this all happens, boom, 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 they play, the cup's awarded. They're going to go right into the draft. The free agent period, Mew, it's a bad time right now, as you know, because you picked it for now. Okay, and so they do all that. I don't think it's going to be that, like a summer is usually, it's 4 or 5 months in between. We're going to have a couple of months in between, I think, from the Stanley Cup to the start of the next season. I don't think there's going to be a big so it's kind of like this. We just gone through. We got that again, and then that's 2 short off seasons. Yeah. If that's what you said, then I agree with you. Sorry. It'd be like having 2 short off seasons. Wolverine feeling good. Awesome, buddy. Keep that up. Hopefully Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup before Toronto Maple Leaf does. Hopefully. I'll tell you, it would be apropos though for the Leafs to win the cup this season when they can't really celebrate it, You can't celebrate it out in public. They won't have a parade. So that would be apropos almost that's when they win the cup. But yeah, I would like to see Montreal win the cup first, definitely. Laurent Dauphin might play for us in the playoffs. We called him up right at the day the season ended, and plus we just signed him to an extension. I think he should play for us. Great player. Well, okay, so how it's going to work, right? They have they're going to be at 24. They're going to expand to 28 on the roster and a taxi squad, I believe. I'm not sure how many players. I would think anywhere from 8 to 12 players on a taxi squad. The AHL players that they want will be in the taxi squad, and whoever they're going to expand, add to the expanded roster. So instead of a 24-man roster, I should put it this way. During the season, they carry, 20 players per game with 3 or 4 extras, and up to 3 or 4 extras in the stands. For this, I believe they're going to obviously dress 20 players, but you're going to have 8 other players hanging around already. So I haven't heard anything about Dauphin being called up or what. I don't think it matters that he was called up before they stopped play. I don't think that matters. But I do think that he'd be in at least the taxi squad, yeah. And the taxi squad, that's for players. So if somebody gets injured, and so on an emergency basis, they have the taxi squad guys come in. Wolverine, I think Tampa will win the cup. Well, I have Tampa for the cup for my prediction. By the way, my prediction video for that. Wow, my first video of over 1,000 views in the longest time since YouTube changed the way they promote our videos. Yeah, very popular video for some reason for me on my end. But I have Tampa, I think, beating Colorado. for the cup. And that was done, and like it's useless now because we don't know the seeding for the top 4 teams anymore. So what I did on that prediction video, it's kind of useless. It's outdated already, unless that happens to be the seeding that comes out of the the round robin tournament. I'm gonna get a drink. It's funny, it rained here before. All of a sudden, I'm coughing. Okay. So that prediction video, like I said, it's kind of useless. But what I did with it was I didn't prepare in that I didn't try to think up the matchups and who I thought. I just went and okay, I'm going to now think it through while I'm on camera. And that's what I really did that. I did not think about any matchups, and that's how it came out. It's highly possible that if I did it again right after, I might even have a different outcome. Let's see. Wolf Beans. Thought the Jackets were going to be this year, but they just surprised me so hard. They've got a very underrated team. Plus, you got to take into account Tortorella is a big difference there. He's a good coach, and he really gets the best out of that team. Like he really gets the best out of that team. So you can't count Blue Jackets out at all. I think, considering what they did to Tampa Bay last year as well. Like I said, Toronto should be worried. Especially that Toronto's kind of, they're kind of in a spot where Montreal is in, except Montreal's in a spot where they need to make the playoffs because they missed so many times. Toronto needs to win the first round of anything. So I know it's not the playoffs, it's the play-in. They need to win that, or they're just going to be considered chokers. I mean, they are chokers. But, I mean, they're just going to be considered chokers, and who's going to blame you for thinking that? Okay, where was I? I wonder if Kotkaniemi will be on our roster. No, he won't be if he's healthy. I heard he didn't need surgery for the spleen injury. I did not hear that. So that's news to me. If he had surgery, I did not hear he didn't have surgery. So that's news to me. If he didn't have surgery, I guess it's a possibility, but I still don't think so. He may be on the AHL, what do they call that? The taxi squad. He may be, but if he had surgery, then he's not. He's going to that's a long recovery. And even if it's not, like if he didn't have surgery, spleen injuries, it's a long recovery. So I really don't expect it. Miu, you know what? You just ate supper, and I am on camera, and I'm not going to get you more food. She's crying at me. She wants more food. After this live stream, you have to go and learn English so you can. I don't know where she is now. Sorry, sweetie, but no, I can't right now. You got the dry food there. Go eat dry food. Go eat your dry food. Sorry, guys. Where was I? If Montreal Canadiens get eliminated, I hope one of my other favorite teams wins. David, you got so many that you do have actually a good chance at that. I have to admit, you got a bunch, and you have a good chance at that. Wolverine, I heard Drouin is clear to play. Yes. Hopefully he can be a big help for the qualifying round. I'm not going to say it as clear to play because I heard an interview with Bergman, so I heard him say this. He was asked about Mete and Drouin. He said Drouin is here in Montreal, and that to him that means that he's ready to go. He didn't say that he knows for a fact, but he said so he should be ready to go. And Mete he had not heard about. Mete is not here in Montreal, so he doesn't know yet exactly what's with Mete. But Drouin apparently is ready to go. And I had heard it probably even a week before that Drouin was ready to go from another source. So I would say he is. Also wonder Primo will be on the roster too. Lindgren's in need of a contract, I believe. Okay, well here's the other news is yes, Primo definitely going to be on the roster because the NHL gave the teams with the expanded rosters unlimited goalies, so you can carry all your goaltenders. So from what that means, like that's what I heard, unlimited goaltender. So I would imagine that either that's the expanded roster to 28, you can carry whatever extra goalies, or on top of those 28, you can carry all the goalies in your system. I don't know. But it's unlimited goaltenders. So, yeah, if one or two goalies get injured by chance, you could have – yeah. So I fully expect Primo to be to be there on the roster. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't shock me, honestly, in something like this. Almost wouldn't shock me if Primo backs up Price. But that's just me saying that off the top of my head. I did not hear that anywhere else. I'm just saying that. Glenn, would love to see Caulfield called up just for the experience. Oh, wait, but Glenn, wait. I got to go back to that. It just passed me by. I got to see that. With what he has done so far this year, he could definitely make an impact. Okay, but you're not understanding something. Caulfield is staying in the NCAA. As long as he's in college, he can't even be in training camp here. He's not allowed to take part in anything here. So as far as to be called up for the playoffs, it's not even a possibility. It's not at all. So if you're hoping for that, please don't hope for that. It's not happening at all. Wolf Beans, Sharks are so screwed, they should try to give Erik Karlsson back to Ottawa. Yeah, I think it turned out to be a bad deal. I'm really glad that he wanted so much money and Montreal didn't reach out for him. I would like to have seen him here, but that was no good. They gave up way too much to get him, and he's just not going to be able to be the Erik Karlsson that he was, I think. But we'll see. He had a really bad injury. You never know. Sometimes a couple of seasons after an injury like that, where, a couple of seasons after he thinks he's better, that he's not fully better till then. Anthony, I haven't seen you in like a long time, buddy. If my Panthers get eliminated in the playing round for the playoffs this year, and we get the first overall pick this year, do we choose Alexis Lafreniere or Tim? It's not Strusel. Yeah, it's Stutzley. I don't think it matters who gets the first overall pick. I think if you don't take Lafreniere, you're making a mistake. So I don't think it matters who gets that first pick. I really am going to be shocked if Lafreniere is not the first pick. Wolverine, if the Habs lose, I'm all for Tampa winning the cup. Stamkos is my favorite NHL player, and Tampa is my second favorite team. So you would have to agree with my video that was yesterday, the game breakers. I had him for number 10, Stamkos. And listen, Stamkos could really use a good playoffs. Am I wrong on that? Stamkos hasn't been the best playoff performer. I don't know why I've got that in my head. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Joe, I'm hoping that Alzner is one of those guys who's on the roster. I think it's about time he gets his chance. I think he's earned it, especially if Mete won't be around, either Alzner or Ouellet. Well, I would think Alzner's going to be at least on the taxi squad. And with the expanded roster to 28, it's a good chance a guy like Alzner, for defensive depth, might be on there. But he'll definitely be on that taxi squad. I can't see it not being the case. If Austin Matthews gets hurt, Leafs are done. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. Personally, I think the Leafs are done anyway. They might win a round. They might win the play-in, but I don't know if they're going to get farther than that. I just don't see it. I don't think they have the defensive depth. Not to say that Montreal could be better. No, I think Montreal has that problem too. But I think the Leafs, I don't think they're going far. Wolf Beans, Bobby Ryan is way too underestimated. Well, Bobby Ryan was a guy that had a problem. He took the time away to get better, and he's back. And yeah, he may be underestimated, but it won't take long before people stop. He was a good hockey player, but he was a really good hockey player, and he had problems. And now that those problems are hopefully behind him, I would think he's going to come somewhat back to who he was. Hey, Emil, why are you being a pain? Stop it now. Stop, please. I'm petting you. Stop screaming at me. That's her screaming at me. That's why I get upset. Like, if you're wondering, she's just meowing. I know my cat. That's her screaming at me because she wants something, but she can't have it right now. In my opinion, who is the most underrated offensive player, defenseman, and goalie in the NHL? Oh my God, why do you hit me with such hard questions? Oh my God. I can't even. I don't think I'm good enough with all around the league yet to really answer that question properly. Goalie wise, I might be able to. I'm trying to even think now. Underrated goalies. Oh, No, I'd have to, and I can't. I'm not the hockey guy. I can't think like that off the top of my head. I don't. I said I don't know the NHL. I'm getting there. I'm getting back to it, but I still don't know it well enough and all the players well enough to answer that question. I'll probably look like a fool. I don't want to look like a fool for nothing. Wolverine. So sorry about that, Anthony. I really am. But that's a good question, but a difficult one for me. The Panthers should take Lafreniere, and I also heard that Barkov might get traded. Oof. That'd be a surprise. I don't see why would Florida want to trade Barkov? I can't see that. I hadn't heard that Florida would trade Barkov, but yeah, if they get the first pick, they should take Lafreniere. Without Domi, I think that's huge for us. It is, and I don't think Domi's going to play. I don't see how he's going to. That's a lot of talent there that won't be there. Hopefully, Drouin plays like how he did at the beginning of the season. Yeah, listen. So it makes room for someone else. The problem really is who do you replace him? He's a center. We're not that flush with centers still yet, so I don't know how he would be replaced, but I know everyone's talking that it's up to the medical trainers and all. I think it's up to Domi in the end whether he plays or not. But if he's allowed to play, that still isn't even like Montreal wants him at all to play. It's still not sure, but I don't think he will. That's when I had an argument with somebody, a light argument about Domi playing, because I had read somewhere, I saw it somewhere where Bergevin said that Domi, more like with his diabetes, he won't be playing. I'm sure I read that. And someone was saying how, well, Domi's going to make a huge difference. And I said, he's not playing. He's not going to be playing. I said, I heard it from Bergevin. They said, no, you didn't. And it was this, it was that. I'm sure I read that somewhere or heard him say it. But that's Capo Caco also has the same thing. So Caco won't be playing. Oh, I love the kitty. I love my kitty. But she's going to get me all full of fur. And she wants food is what it is. She's an old cat. And she just ate not too long, like maybe like 2 hours ago. And I give her food a little bit later as normal. And sometimes she wants some treats here. That's what she's asking for, but I can't really go get them. So she's going to have to wait. But don't worry, that one eats like 5 times a day. She can eat me out of house and home, it seems like. Most underrated player, I would say, Jacob Slavin and Kane. Very good. That's a good one. Definitely. And also, you can't deny that Jeff Petrie is a very, very underrated defenseman. Well, I'm going to say this. I'll deny that he's very, very underrated. He may be a little underrated, but I don't think he's so underrated as that. No. So I wouldn't agree with you on that. But is he a little underrated? Yeah, I think he might be, yeah. But I don't think he's so underrated like that. I would put Wheel in Domi's spot. Wheel's a center, but we played him as a right wing this whole time. I don't know if Wheel's a good enough center in the playoffs. I think once you're in the playoffs, it's going to create a bit of a problem, and it's why I have Montreal not beating Pittsburgh. I don't see how they're going to do that with Domi out of the lineup. I really don't, unless they, I think maybe you can bring Paling but I don't think Paling's shown that he could be third line center. So I don't know where they go with that. The NHL mentioned if there are any other players in a similar situation as Domi who can't play. Well, Bettman said that he definitely understands there's players. Bettman mentioned, I think, Max Domi with the diabetes, that they definitely going to understand that, and they're not forcing any players to play. It's going to be up to the player. I mean, why would Domi take that chance as a type 1 diabetic to be playing and maybe get sick? I don't see why he would. Even though he's never played in the playoffs, I'm sure he wants to. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. He makes enough money. He doesn't need to take that kind of a chance. Why would he? Who has the lowest attendance when it comes to hockey games in the NHL in Canada? Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, or Winnipeg? Well, it's not Toronto. It's not Montreal. It's got to be between Vancouver and Winnipeg. I would think it's probably Vancouver. But it's definitely between Vancouver and Winnipeg. I don't know if I got that right or not, but I would have to. It's not Toronto or Montreal. It can't be. Wolf Beans. Yo. Okay, Wolverine. Hey, NHL Hockey News. Good. Glad to see you in. Don't worry. You don't ever have to be sorry about being late. No. She had a heart attack and she's already back home. Oh, well, I'm glad she's back home. And she's back at home. Hey, I'm not sure what's going on. Are you okay? Is she going to be okay? Jeez, you guys are having such bad luck. Well, thoughts going out to your grandmother. I'm really sorry to hear that. Heart attack at 90. Woo. That's a tough one. Gotta tell you. Can 2020 get any worse? I gotta tell you that too. Paul Gee, good to see you, buddy. It's a bit of a somber night. I got you guys can see. I'm a bit with everything going on in the States. It's kind of got to me. Just one of those. I don't know. If Domi doesn't play, I really do wonder who will play third and fourth line center. Well, Evans will play fourth line center. I don't think that's a. I don't think Paling's going to play center right now. KK, I don't know. I can't see him being back with a spleen injury. I don't think he could have recovered from that already. But I haven't heard anything. There's been no talk about KK being here. Yeah, I have no idea what they're going to do. It's a problem. It's why I don't think they're going to beat Pittsburgh. It's one of the big reasons. Wolverine, Alex Killorn and Braden Point are also kind of underrated. I think the Habs should pursue Killorn. Yeah, I had that in a video a while back. I like Alex Killorn. I think he could be a really good addition here. And I think he's a guy that you could probably get out of Tampa, because Tampa, they have some salary cap issues, and they're going to need to move a contract like Killorn's. Okay, NHL, great. I'm glad that she's fine. That's great. Yeah, listen, thank God at 90, only at 90 she needs meds for the first time. That's amazing. That's like amazing. Anthony, rank your top destinations this offseason for Patrick Laine if Winnipeg can't re-sign him to a contract after tendering him. Oh, my God. Okay, let me think. Who would be interested in Patrick Laine? I mean, I know everyone's probably going to say Montreal, but how many do you want me in top destinations? I'm going to be lucky to get you one. Any team looking for a shooter, any of the contenders, any of the contenders that are, yeah, I don't know if I can narrow it down to a team, but any team that needs to step up. Patrick Laine can really help like a veteran team or a team that, hey, Lee Max, welcome to the club. Lee Max just joined, became a member. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Lee Max, besides myself, is the first member. Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. I really appreciate that. Okay, so Patrick Laine would be a good addition to any. Oh God, let me think about that. Honestly, I could see a team like, and you're gonna think I'm crazy because I just said they had money problems, but a team just like Tampa Bay, if they don't win it this year, who else is like them? Even a team like maybe New York Rangers, who really want to go at that step up, that could be a landing spot they're trying to add. Yeah, I don't know. Why all these hard questions from you tonight, Anthony? Oh my God, do me a favor in the future, email me hours before and let me know these hard questions you're going to give me so I can be bloody prepared. Oh my God. Imagine if he goes to Boston. I don't know what wing he plays. Does he play the opposite of Pasternak? Because imagine Pasternak on one side and Laine on the other. I mean, there's something. There you go. That's the best I can do right now. Hey, Johnny Golden, how's it going, buddy? So I got, 3 mods in the room today. That's awesome. Toronto Maple Leafs should trade for Alex Killorn. They can't afford anybody up front. Up front, they can't afford anybody. My nanny from my mom's side just turned 86 today. Wow. Yeah, I've got plenty of people in my family that are that old. That's for sure. How much do I think Alex Killorn is worth? Well, he's making in the something like a little over 4 million. Um, I believe he's got some term on his contract. I think he might have 2 or 3 years on his contract, so it doesn't matter. Um, he's making about 4.5, and yeah, so that's why it'd be a good trade. Montreal get him with term, about the right amount of term that you want to have him for. So, is Boston over their salary cap? Can they? Okay, there's a B in front of it. Okay, can they trade for Patrick Laine? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know Boston's salary cap. I really don't. But if, say, a guy like Torrey Krug goes, right, you're losing, you're not having to sign him. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, look, maybe they can make room for a guy like that. Can you imagine how awesome that would be? I wouldn't want to see it happen. Sixnity. Is that how you pronounce Sixnity? That's you're new. Welcome in, buddy. Appreciate it. I think the Habs can surprise people by beating the Penguins. I think they can do it, but I don't know if they will without Domi in the lineup. It's going to be really that much harder. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if you were here before we were talking about it, but it doesn't look like Max Domi's going to play, and I don't know how they beat them really with Domi not in the lineup. Toronto spends their cap on forwards, not the defense. This is their biggest problem, though. Maybe it's time they stop doing that, though, and get some defense. Don't you think, though? Saying though too many times. But yeah, it is a problem for them. But now they need defense. They've got a hell of a good offense. They need defense. The guy who licks people is the guy who's playing in the opposite side of Pasternak. That's true. But no, what I'm asking is, Laine. Well, I mean, I guess he's a winger, right? I don't know what side he shoots. I don't know what wing he plays. But if they, and Boston, to me, I know he's a really good hockey player. I know he is. He's got talent, Marchand. I hate him. But if you were me, I'd get rid of that guy and, bring in somebody else. Wow, NHL. Grandmother's mother died at 105 a while back. My great-grandfather was, I want to say 106 when he died. And this was back in the 70s. He got a letter from, I think it was Nixon for when he turned 104. I think he got a letter from Nixon. I don't know why he chose at 104. 60, thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate it. I don't know if you've subscribed yet, but if you haven't, I'd appreciate that if you don't mind. But if you don't worry about it. But nice to see some new people in. I always like that. Where are you from? What part of the world? Laine plays both wings. A lot of wingers do, so I just wasn't sure. So Laine would fit there. There you go. I don't know. I can't think of anywhere else. There's lots of teams that would like. Hey, listen, a team like we just talked about them. Columbus Blue Jackets would love a guy like Laine. He would help them out. He would help them replace Panarin. Okay, wait, I'm trying to figure out where I am. If my Panthers go to the next round, do you think they can upset the Tampa Bay Lightning? And what would your realistic record for the series be if that happens? Honestly, I don't think they could beat the Lightning. I don't. But listen, I didn't think Columbus could last year, and they did. But I think I would have to think the Lightning are going to be kind of on a bit of a mission to prove last year wrong. So I would have to think that in a series between Florida and Tampa, I would if I was looking at it, I would have to think it'd be a 5-game series, 4-1 for Tampa. Sorry, buddy, it's no. I mean, I hope they don't get mad at that. But yeah, I kind of think that would be realistic. But then again, if Tampa has lost something and they totally suck in the playoffs now. I mean, I don't know, but I would think that they don't have a huge chance against Tampa. But who am I to know? Okay, so I realized that I had scrolled and didn't scroll down. So just want to remind people, if I missed one of your comments, just to re-comment, or that's what Super Chats is for. Line A is a righty. You think. Okay, and what's Pasternak? I want to say Pasternak also a righty, is he not? Or I don't know. And Bill, there's other teams than Boston. I just said Columbus Blue Jackets would really love to get a guy like that. Would he go to Columbus? I doubt it. I guess trading, though, with a trade, he doesn't have a choice. Colorado can also pick line A. Yeah, imagine him going to Colorado, just what Colorado needs. Hey, they need more offense. They were interested in Taylor Hall. Hey, they might still be after Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, I don't know if he'll sign in Arizona. Cap-friendly Boston. Boston's got no cap space. Okay, so they're not going to Boston. He's not going to Boston. Hey, Sixty, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to have trouble saying that name you've got there, but I'm trying. Sixty. I really appreciate that. Hopefully you'll enjoy being here. Hopefully you'll like my videos. I try to do the best I can. Today's a hard day for that dog, I'll tell you. I don't know, something today. Where was I? Let me scroll a little bit. Okay, I'm just going down to the bottom. So I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Just like I said, just re-comment and I'll get to it. From Canada, your new favorite team is Montreal, but you're not from there. Let's go Habs. Hey, no problem. Half the people in here are not. At least half the people aren't from. Maybe everybody in the room besides me is from Montreal. Wolf Beans. Eichel did not get traded. No, he did not. He just not happy being in Buffalo. It's going to take a lot to get Eichel if you want to trade. And you know what? It's usually when you make so many holes on your team to get a guy like that, then Eichel didn't make them better or make them win in Buffalo. If you got your team to get Eichel, he's not going to make you win here or whatever team you are. That's how I look at it. Did the NHL say if the points collected from the players in the entrance round to the playoffs will count toward their season total? Heard this was in discussion. No, that's the first I'm hearing about that, Glenn. I don't have any idea about that. I hadn't even thought about that. It's true. It's a good point. Eichel is obviously fed up with all the losing in Buffalo. Yeah, he is. He said that in his season-ending interview. I feel like next year is potentially the last straw if the Sabres don't make the playoffs. Yeah, I think he just recently signed like an 8-year deal. So he signed that deal. I don't know how easy it's going to be to either get him out of there, like another team to trade for him, or for him to make them want to trade him. I don't know. But it looks like I would have to think a year, 2 years for him to jockey his way out of there. John is looking for a new girlfriend. Anybody can help him out there. Good luck with that, John. Not easy to do with all this pandemic going on. People are saying things about Jack Eichel. Yeah, well, because he just recently in an interview was what's the word I'm looking for? He let everybody know how frustrated he is right now with Buffalo. NHL, I appreciate that. I didn't get a lot of views on it, but I'm not posting on Facebook for a little bit. I'm not very pleased with Facebook with their political stance, and I'm thinking about totally leaving Facebook. So I want to see how my videos do without Facebook's help. I do get a lot of views from Facebook, I have to admit. Would I use a top 10 pick on goalie Yaroslav Askarov? Well, you know what? If I'm Ottawa, especially if I'm Ottawa and I get pushed back a little bit, I might use that second pick to pick up Askarov. And I even had it in my video. I know I had him as the third pick. You got 2 picks like that back to back. Yeah, when I'm doing hockey pools, If I don't know how, you don't know how often I will get. It's usually last pick, but last pick in a snaking draft is last and then the first for the next round, right? But I'll either get right up close to the first or right behind. So then I have either back-to-back picks or two really close picks, and oftentimes I'll do that early. Is I'll get one of my picks and I'll pick a goalie, and I'll get goalies really early. Get my pick of them, and yeah, so it's kind of like that. And I think Ottawa could use the goalie. I think Ottawa could really use a goalie like that, and I think it's possible. Yeah. I just ate before, and it's made me thirsty. I've got to refill this with some water. Put it from another one. Sorry, guys. I'm going to look down because I don't want to spill all over myself. It gets cold. Yeah, no, that's not vodka. Everyone seems to think I drink vodka. The Leafs were better off without Tavares. Dubas should have used that money. Yeah, well, that's yeah, yeah. I think it was a bad move to get Tavares for them. It's just too much. It's too much money up front, and no defense. And you can't win without defense. Aaron, okay, that's a new one. Wait a second, I see a new person here. I think. Let me go look. How did it just jump that much? Oh, there he is. Aaron, have I seen you before? Anyways, if not, welcome in, buddy. Go Habs, go. Jack Eichel is good, but they are having players that aren't helping him. He can't do it himself. He can't. He just can't. Nice. Lee, you know what? Emojis are hard to get, and it accepted that for an emoji, so I put it there. I got to work on getting new emojis or some emojis. Is Eichel overpaid? I'm not sure what he's getting paid, but Eichel's worth a lot of money. Eichel's a hell of a good player. I know you said you want a magnetic whiteboard, but when I get it, I have a really cheap and quality idea for your magnets. Okay, well, I don't have any magnets right now. But yeah, I'm going to eventually get a magnetic board, and then I think I might do magnets like that. We'll see. Ottawa can grow as a team if they rebuild well. Yes, this could be a very important draft for them. Are there any American teams that originally played in Canada? They came to the U.S. later on, much like Winnipeg. Well, Winnipeg. No. Okay, you got that wrong. Winnipeg moved to Arizona. They became the Coyotes. Atlanta Thrashers was the second team in Atlanta. The first Atlanta Flames moved to Calgary. The Atlanta Thrashers moved to Winnipeg. So the opposite way now, Quebec going to Colorado. I think that's it. So the only two teams, so Quebec went to Colorado, and the original Winnipeg, the old Jets, went to Arizona. And that, as far as I know, is it. Askarov needs to go to the Blackhawks. Well, they don't. I mean, he doesn't need to go. I mean, the Blackhawks could really use Askarov, and if Askarov is available, I do believe the Blackhawks will take him at 9th. The Red Wings, I don't think will do that if they have such a high pick. And Devils, but the Red Wings are too high up to pick. That's right. Askarov. Check out the video on what the TV most for. Okay, well, I haven't seen that video actually of yours yet. I haven't seen it come out, so I will look for it and check you out there. But yeah, I think that Blackhawks will take him if he's there, but he might not be there when they pick. Only Ottawa ain't in the playoffs this year. What, as far as Canadian teams? Yeah, I think you're right. People think Price is overpaid. Oh, wait a second. We'll go back up one. Eichel makes $10 million. Yeah. No, he's worth this. He's a good player. He's not overpaid. People think Price is overpaid. They sure do. I think he might have been like. Let me put it this way: I think his contract starts out, he's a little bit overpaid. I have to say, but as every year that contract goes, he becomes less and less so. Ottawa's the only. I said that. What NHL franchise, in my opinion, has the consistency of being successful with Russian players in general in the history of the NHL? Well, Detroit, definitely. They had some really good success with Russian players. Oh, that's a really good question. I'm trying to think of other teams that have had. I can think of Russian players like, I can't think of a team like that had such a big group of them other than Detroit that had that. They had that whole 5 players would go out, 2 defense, 3 forwards as a unit. And I can't think of another team that's that like top heavy with Russians. So I think it's pretty spread out. And I don't know that they have that right now with Detroit. So I don't know. Is there a team that has that many Russians that you can say that that you can say that they have a consistency of? No, I think Detroit. That was when he was young about the contract. He was like 28 when the contract was made. Let me see. No, wasn't he 30? Because I think he's 2 years into it. So no, he was 30, I think, because he's 32. Do I see any RFA offers happening? Nothing yet. I mean, I haven't heard nothing. I don't know that that they can do any of that because the season's not done. RFAs, you can't really do anything with RFAs. Or are you saying our RFAs? Have I seen anything that Habs might be? There's no news out on any of that yet that I've heard, at least. Ducks, if available, should draft Lundell. Plays like Bergeron, next Selke Trophy winner. I've heard some bad things about him too, that he may be a little overrated, but I don't know enough about Lundell to know that. But yeah, he's definitely gonna. I mean, he should be a pretty high pick. It's not some people saying that Taylor Hall's a free agent again this year, is he not? He was just traded, so he's a free agent coming up. Yeah. So it's, yeah, don't forget he was traded to where's he? He's in Arizona. So they traded him really early in the season, if I'm correct. So that's why it might seem like it's a new thing, but no, I knew he was going to be a free agent. What is one player that should leave the KHL and come back to the NHL? I don't know who's there right now. I don't know. I don't know if I know the whole league enough to know that deep to know that. I have a feeling you do. So NHL, tell me who you're thinking of, because I can't think of anybody, honestly. Wolverine, Washington has good Russian players. Oh, that's true, I guess, with Ovechkin. But again, it's not like they have. I mean, most teams have some good Russian players, but in Detroit specifically, they had that 5, the 3 forwards, 2 defensemen. They put them out as a unit. So it wasn't they change up the defense, change up the forwards separately. Nah, 5 guys would have to come off for these 5 to go out. And I don't know. I can't remember anybody since then actually having that. So that's why I say Detroit. But yeah, I mean, most teams have some good Russian players. 2 or 3 of them usually even. So yeah. Except Montreal. I mean, who do we have that's Russian? We have Romanov coming in. Do we have any Russians on the team right now? I don't know why I'm not thinking. I know that's the case. We must have one. I can't think. Is Pavel Bure from Russia, Finland, or Sweden, or Germany? Isn't he from Russia? Bure's not from Swinland. From Finland or Sweden. I wanted to say both of them at once. He's not German. He's Russian, which is what I thought. Don't forget, we had Valerie Bure here, so it's not like I don't know. We had his brother here. Hey, Rick, who's your second favorite team? David, I'm going to be very consistent in saying that I do not have a second favorite team. I have the Montreal Canadiens, which is my favorite team, and then I have teams that I like, and Teams that I don't. Will I miss Charles Hudon if he signs overseas this season? I mean, not really, but yeah, I mean, not really. He hasn't done anything yet. If when they come back to play, if he really has a great playoffs, yeah, okay, that'd be different, but not really. Nail Yakupov, I don't even know how is he still playing? It's funny because I saw his name somewhere recently. So I don't know if he's playing well. Okay, he did nothing really when he was here. Yakupov. He says also think Galchenyuk will go to the KHL and maybe come back a year or two. I mean, you know, that's a possibility. I think he did okay in Minnesota. He had 7 points in his 14 games there. What I heard something, I don't know what, a video somewhere where they said they thought he would resign. I think it was John from Hot Take Hockey saying he thinks Galchenyuk will try to resign there. Oh boy, this screen it's going fast. So again, if I miss a comment that you just wrote, I don't get to it. Please write it again. I have a hashtag bobblehead, I guess that for the Sabres in the stance of stacking pads. Love the bobblehead. Hasek was a special player. Lindell should go to Montreal if we can get him a lot of defensive capability. Could even win a few Selke trophies in Montreal. I guess it's a possibility. Remember, they're all potential. None of these guys, none of these players. I mean, even Lafreniere, it's potential. I think there's a lot of other guys ahead of Lindell that will be available. I think there'll be players that, but you never know. They might like Lindell. They might like his size. I think he's got decent size. Excuse me. And maybe they'll go for him. I know I have, it's one of my guys here, one of my subs. Is it Alexander? I mean, I think so. And anyways, and he was telling me, because he changed his name, his username or whatever, and I get confused on who it is. He was telling me he saw Lundell play a lot, and he would like to see Lundell here in Montreal. So that was a good report. So I don't know. I think, why was I saying that? I know we were talking about Lundell, but this is just, it's flying past me here. Oh my God. What's going on? How many 13 people? You're all talking at once. I swear, it went like, huh. Okay, do I think the Habs will call up KK? No, I don't. I don't think KK is going to be able to play. I know he's at home in Finland, recovering from his spleen operation that I had heard it was an operation. And someone's saying that it's not. He didn't get an operation, so I don't know. But I don't think he'll be here. Okay, Paul. Oh, okay, that's what you would ask me. Sorry, Paul. The question is if it happens. No, I don't think I'd miss him per se because he hasn't done enough to be missed. I don't think so. I guess that's how I'd look at it. Galchenyuk is best for no. Oh my God, no. I don't want to. No. We don't want Galchenyuk back here. No. Abdullah, you hope not. Doesn't have to call up. Yeah, no, I don't think they can. Do you think the Habs will call up KK? Well, no, I answered that though. They can't call up KK. They can't because I think he's recovering. I don't think he's going to be ready for this. And besides, I think they want him to be more in the AHL. Although I guess for this, if he was okay to play, they might. But I don't think he's going to be okay to play at that time. The Habs need out of anyone. Expect Lafreniere, Byfield, which is Drysdale. Yes, NHL. You're right. I would really like to see them. Look, if they had first pick, Lafreniere, you have to take Lafreniere. If they have anything other than first pick, I want to see them get Drysdale. He's my number one hope. Hey, 60, if you're still in the room, thanks a lot. I appreciate the new person in the room and that you subscribed. I really do appreciate that. Hope to see you again. NHL's going out too. Hey, NHL, thanks as always for being there. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, if you're still looking, it's true. I'm sorry I didn't think of that. But if anybody in the room, hey, head over to NHL Hockey News, check out his channel, and give him a thumbs up and a subscribe. He's trying to get to 250 right now, and he's not that far away, I think. He's really close. So head over there, check out that guy's channel. You're going to like his stuff. Anthony, do you actually believe the rumors that Henrik Borgstrom, the center from the Panthers that they drafted a few years ago, might go back? Do I believe it's Finland or Sweden? I can't remember. Borgstrom, I would have to say that's a Swedish name. I could be wrong. I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard that. So, I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't believe it because I don't know enough about the situation itself. But I hadn't heard that he was planning to go back to Sweden. Maybe he can make more money there. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason. Chucky had his chance. He likes cocaine more than hockey. That, and he listens to his father more than his coaches. So, yeah. I feel bad for Galchenyuk the way his career went, just because of his dad coaching him. You know, I feel bad, too. I liked Galchenyuk a lot. And it was him that I wanted them to pick that year, so I was happy with that. But his dad, it's his dad that's the big problem, and it caused what happened. I pin it on his dad. NHL Hockey News, I do appreciate that. But listen, like anything, one day you're going to be bored of watching me, and I get that. And don't have to worry about it. But I absolutely appreciate that. Like, I know when I put up a video, if it says, like, quickly, it says, I got one view, I always think of you, that you watched it. You're the guy that you're the guy waiting for it, and you watched it. So every time that happens, when I post something, if there happens to be a first, like, a view already, and it shows me one, or even if it's two, I always think of you that you've watched it already. So I really do appreciate that a lot. Wolverine, do you think Henrik Lundqvist would be a good backup for Montreal? Yeah, but the problem for Lundqvist is unless they give each team a buyout, that can't remember the word for it. Lundqvist is making a lot of money, and I don't see how Montreal can afford that. So either if they trade for him to New York and New York keeps most of that, retains most of his salary, I don't see how we can afford Lundqvist. But yeah, Lundqvist, if he would be willing to take the backup role behind Price, yeah, that would be great. But I think he's making like $8 million. I don't see how that's happening. I had sandwiches for supper, and I guess it was just turkey, but it must have been really salty because I haven't been this thirsty after eating supper in a long time. Would I rather keep our high draft pick or beat Pittsburgh? Well, Johnny, I'm kind of on the record on that. I've already said I really would like to keep that draft pick, but if Montreal goes on a tear and they start winning, I mean, I'm going to cheer them on just like anybody else. So I'm kind of torn, but yeah, I really would like that high draft pick. But, you know, as Gallagher did say, Gallagher's quoted as saying this, that a draft pick is all potential, and you never know how it's going to come out. Any player that has ever played that gets a chance to play for the Cup, that's where they want to be. That's what they want to be doing, and that's what he wants to be doing. So, yeah, I kind of get it. So, but personally, I'd like to see that pick because I don't see how far. I don't see them going. I don't see them winning the Cup. I don't. So, because of that, yeah, I would kind of like the pick. But if they do go and start winning, I'm going to be happy as hell, just like anybody else. So you can guarantee that. Leaf should trade Mitch Marner because he give puck away. Mitch Marner's a pretty good player. I'd take him. He might be a little overpaid. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't have that contract. Jean-Claude. I haven't seen Jean-Claude in here in a while. How's it going, buddy? I'm doing good. So far, so good. Knock wood. So far, so good. I'm healthy, and as far as I know, I am. And yeah, doing well. I hope you are too. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's doing well. It's going to be a big next few weeks to a month to see how this all opening up everything's going to affect anything. So, but good to see you, really. Lee Max, I don't think they trade Marner either. Almost forgot I can shout out your channel on my channel for helping me. I always appreciate a good shout out there, buddy. Always do. I always do. Anthony, is there a position in hockey they win a Stanley Cup determines if they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Let me read that again. Is there a position in hockey that when they win a Stanley Cup determines if they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, much like quarterback? No. Are you saying, okay, so I think what you're saying is do you have to win a Stanley Cup at certain positions to get into the Hall of Fame? No, I don't think so. But I think most Hall of Famers have won the Cup. I don't think all of them have, but most of them have. But no, I don't think there's any position like that. It's not the same. No. Nope. And we're at the bottom of we're at an hour, and we're at the bottom of the questions. Let me go scroll back and see if I can get anybody else's questions that I missed then. That might not be as easy as I thought. I don't know where I was. I heard, oh, good, there's a bunch coming in now. I heard Domingue wants to be a Habs. Should we get him? No, I don't think Louis Domingue's a good enough backup. I really don't. I know he's from here and all that, but I don't think he's a good enough backup. We already have backups that are his quality. I wouldn't go out and get him, no. Galchenyuk might have also had attitude problems in Montreal. There were quite a bit of players in Montreal that had attitude problems, like Sherbak and Nathan Beaulieu. And at the time, I believe with Galchenyuk, wasn't it, what's the guy that's in Edmonton? Why is the name not coming to me? He just signed with them. He's doing really good in Edmonton. But when he came here, they were partying a lot and was not a good influence with each other. I think a lot of Galchenyuk's acting out like that is because of his how does he get away from his father's interference? It might have been a problem for him, and he couldn't get away from it, and maybe that's why he acted out like that while he was here. Sherbak just wasn't a good enough hockey player, and Nathan Beaulieu he wasn't good enough. That's plain and simple. But Sherbak was really just not a good enough hockey player. I mean, he went back to the KHL last season. Was last season or the season before? Played with two different teams, and he didn't stick around with them. So, Johnny, same here. Cheer them on, especially if Romanov plays. Yeah, I'm really hoping. You know what? If Domi can't play, at least let Romanov play. It'll help make up for a little bit of that. I hope, anyway. I'd like to have him start with a positive experience. Yes, sir. They also really want that high pick. It's a deep draft. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a deep draft, and I think Montreal, more than likely, they might not keep 8, but they'll be 8, 9, or 10. It's a good pick. John Weigel is saying Leafs are not trading Nylander. No, I don't expect that they would. Jean-Claude, yes, Rick, I've been bored and forgot about YouTube. When the virus is done, we should meet up in Montreal. Yeah, when all this virus is done, I do plan to have a Montreal meetup. We'll go out and have a beer together, a bunch of us. Hopefully we'll figure something out, something to do. But that's a definite. I want to do definitely do a Montreal meetup when we're allowed to actually meet. And maybe not have to shake hands. Who knows, in the future we're going to do a lot of that. But at least we can meet in person and talk. We would have done that already by now if it weren't for all this. I was planning to do that. Well, maybe not by now, but it would have already been planned. I wanted to do it this summer. Do I think Drouin will go on a hot streak like he did a few years back with Tampa? Can't really speak for that, but what I'd like for Drouin is for him to come back, play like he did at the beginning of the season, those first 19 games. If he can just do that, I'm going to be happy. He doesn't have to go like otherworldly, but if he could just come back and play like those first 19 games, I'm going to be very happy. Sherbak really got on my nerves when he accused the organization for being against Russians. Yeah, and it was just because he wasn't good enough. He just didn't want to face the fact that he wasn't a good enough hockey player to be an NHLer. That's all there is to it. Rank my top #1 picks who were a bust in here. Oh, God, okay. You like the hard questions, but, I mean, that's impossible. You'd have to give me some time to research that. I can't name them off the top of my head. There's no way I could rank them. And believe me, there's a lot of #1 picks that were a bust over the years. But, oh, my God, I mean, just to think of who they are, never mind rank them, no. You got to give me, you know what? If you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write that one down. That sounds like maybe a good video. So I'm writing that down as a possible video, okay, buddy? #1 picks that were a bust. Because that's good video, but that makes a whole video. Okay. Okay, so that, I don't know exactly when I might do that, but that sounds like something I can do pretty soon. So, but yeah, sorry for the dog. Can't help that. But off the top of my head, that's not an easy one. If Ottawa takes the goalie and both D-men are off the board, yeah, you know, there's a lot of talk about Sanderson really going up high. So, yeah, we could get a blue chip, high scoring winger. Yeah, we definitely could. You know, I was going to say I'm afraid they'll go. I'm wondering, like, if Marco Rossi is still there, do they go for another small guy? Now, not saying there's no knock on Rossi other than his size a bit, because I have a feeling Rossi could drop because of that size. Do they go for that? But there's a good chance there'll be Lucas Raymond, Alexander Holtz. We just talked about Lundell. There's a bunch of guys that are really could be good. Yeah, this is a really good draft. I really want them to get a good draft pick. Now, why was I saying all that again? What was it? We could get we could get a really good high scoring winger. I definitely agree. Cole Perfetti. There's some really good talent out there. So yeah, I think that's why I really, you know, and this would be the year they're gonna do well in the playoffs, and they're gonna lose out on a great pick. They don't get high up picks like this very often. Yep. Today in 1935, Babe Ruth played his final game. Was that? Oh, really? No, what do we do? That's a weird time of the year, no? I guess he didn't play the season. Anthony, you can ask them. I love the fact that you're asking me hard questions. I can only say that I may not be able to answer some of them, but I'll tell you that I can't. I won't try to flub my way through it. I know what I'm talking about if I really don't. But that last one, really, that was a good video idea. That's and like I said, it's too hard off the top of my head. Now, if I was the hockey guy, that I might have been able to do it, but he has a way of recalling things I'm not able to. But it was a good question, but yeah. But keep asking the hard questions. Don't worry about them. If I can't answer them, I won't. But my God, from the first question, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're really calling me on my any knowledge that I may have. But it's okay. I'd rather that than dumb questions. So, what are my thoughts on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? Do I think he's a bust? Or was he drafted too high? I don't think he will leave Edmonton, but just wondering if he would be a good fit with the Habs. Yeah, well, there's been a lot of rumors about Montreal going after him. I can't say he's a bust. I mean, he had 69 points last season or the season before. He's not a bust. Was he probably drafted too high? Yeah. I mean, yeah, he was drafted too high. He's a good NHLer, that's for sure. So a good NHLer is not a bust. Even if he's drafted first overall, if he turns out to be a good NHLer, it's not a bust. It's just shouldn't have been drafted #1. That's all. Jean-Claude, what's the foot for? Oops, sorry. Okay. Best forward on Habs right now, in my opinion. Ooh. Oh, give me a second on that one. Best forward. Best forward. My favorite, Nick Suzuki. Isn't it weird? I cannot even think of who was leading the freaking Habs in points and all that. Oh, you know what? I think because it's kind of his year, I have to say with his consistency and everything, it might be Thomas Tatar. Because just the consistency, he's leading the team in points. He never really went more than a couple of games, maybe that he wasn't at top of his game. Yeah, I'd have to say Thomas Tatar. Yeah, I think I'd have to say Thomas Tatar. Where was I? Oh, there we are. Sir Lilius Pieper asked me that. That's cool. I don't know if I'm just noticing your name. I love that. That's a great name, buddy. And thanks for coming in. If I hadn't seen you before, I appreciate you coming in. I hope that answered. That was a good answer, or good enough. But yeah, it's got to be Thomas Tatar in my opinion right now. But I would like it to be Nick Suzuki very soon. Johnny, if we beat Pittsburgh and drop to 16th overall, does Bergie trade up to get a higher pick? We have a lot of assets. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine he's going to try. And maybe that's, that's the thing to do. If that's the case, then you do your best to trade up. I see Jean-Claude agreed with me that it was Tatar. If Frederik Andersen leaves the Leafs after next year, the Leafs are done. Yeah. Look, Anderson isn't the kind of goalie that's not totally real. I mean, there's other goalies as good as him, and you're able to get them, or they'd be able to get somebody. I mean, I don't think Freddie Anderson is like the end-all, be-all of goalies. So I wouldn't say they're done, but it wouldn't be good for them. David, you're worried it's way too far in advance. There's nothing set. And you never know. Look, Ottawa's not that far. You never know. Maybe I hope to be able to do. I don't drive anymore, so it's not easy for me to go like a place like that. But maybe we can, make other meetups around the area here, outside of Montreal. So we'll see. But nothing's happening yet, so don't even worry. But obviously you're not from around here, so. A Montreal meetup, I would think mostly Montreal people are going to go. I can't see anybody driving that far to come meet me. Come on. Shrek is in the room. Hello, Shrek. How's the donkey? How's donkey? That's my Shrek voice. Not very good. Shrek's in the room. I like that. I like the name. Shrek was, I like Shrek. I noticed this recently is rare, but I noticed the European players in general have trouble adjusting to how physical the North American style of hockey is. Why is that? I don't think that's a thing as much as it used to be, but they didn't play the physical game. Europe didn't play the physical game the way we did up until, I want to say it's got to be a good 20, 30 years they're playing that kind of game. Probably longer than that. But when they first started to come here to North America, it was harder for them because they didn't play that physical. But I think they play every bit as physical now in every other league around the world. I really do. And I don't think that makes nary a difference at all anymore, no matter where the guy comes from. I don't think it makes a difference anymore to say that North America is more physical and guys have to get used to it. It used to be a thing, and I don't think it is anymore. Wolverine, Thomas Tatar and Gallagher are the best forwards right now. If Domi and Drouin can find consistency, those two would definitely be the best. Yeah, the only reason I didn't say Gallagher for this, because it was for this season, because of his injuries, the problems that he had, he wasn't able to be as consistent or do as well as I think we all thought he would have that type of season. But that's the only reason I think I said Tatar he is the most consistent this year and all that. That's why I just gave it to him. But I think Galley could have been there, but with the concussion, he was out twice, I think, this season. So, yeah. What will happen to Domi this summer? Oh, I think Montreal signs him. If that's what you mean, or if you mean what is he going to do while they don't play, I don't know. But I think Montreal resigns Domi. I think they, he didn't have the best season last year. He didn't have a good follow-up to the year before, right? I think for Montreal, that's kind of like opens up like, wow, okay, here's a guy that we really wanted to sign more than likely anyway. We can get him at a lot less now. So I think they sign him. Which RFA do I think MB should offer sheet? I don't think MB should offer sheet anybody. I don't like the offer sheet. I really don't. So I don't really think that's a good idea. I know there's the talk of oh God, who was it? I can't even think now. They're talking about Sergachev. I don't see how that makes sense. I don't mind paying for your gas, David. My gift, if you want. The more people, the better. Well, you never know. Maybe we can arrange things. Maybe there's other people coming in from out there. When something like that is happening, then we'll see if we can arrange to get people in from farther away if they want. Danault is very underrated. I think Danault he's getting less underrated, I think, as his career goes on, but I think he's still underrated, yeah. Wolverine, I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a great number 3 center in Edmonton, but in any other team, maybe at best he's a number 2. If he was in Montreal, I think he would be their best center with Danault. Yeah, I mean, maybe right now, because, I mean, we don't really have a number 1 center right now. I think Nick Suzuki will hopefully develop into that, or we will bring in somebody. Yeah, I think Nugent Hopkins is a good player. Like I said, definitely not a bust. Excuse me. Anthony, second part to the question that I asked you earlier. Why do they have trouble adjusting to the size of the ice? Is what I meant, not how physical. Oh, well, because in Europe, I believe they play a bigger ice surface. So their ice is, I don't know how much bigger, but their ice is bigger. So they have more room to make plays, more room to move. They're not so, when you take away, I don't know if it's 10 feet, there's a difference there. It's wider and it's longer. When you take that size away and you're not used to that, it's a little bit to get used to. So that's what it is. And when you're in tighter like that and it's a physical game, then it's even a little bit more physical. So if that's what you mean, yeah, that's what it is. The ice surfaces in Europe are bigger. Where's Scotty tonight? Must be watching UFC. Oh, that could be Scott's a big UFC guy. Or he's got a young daughter. You never know when you got kids that age that you say, well, maybe he could listen. And he might be listening and not being able to type. Because when you have a daughter that age or a son, any kids that age, that's hands full. Hands full. I'm sure that's what's up. You back already? Oh, about 11 more minutes. At an hour and a half in, so yeah, when it's at 9:35, basically, I am yeah, I'm done there. 90 minutes is about all I could do. I'll tell you, my hat. If I want to take my hats off, you see my bald head. Hats off to John at Hot Take Hockey, to the hockey guy, and anybody else there that does these 2, 3, 4 hours. I've seen 3.5 hour live streams. I don't know that I could do that. I really don't know. I did it. The only times I've done that was when Scott and Sinbin and excuse me, when we were doing some live streams together, we'd be on 2-3 hours. I did that, but it wasn't just me talking. But here, when I'm on, it's just me talking. I'm literally talking for 90 minutes. I lose my voice by the end, and it gets tough. So I don't usually go beyond 90 minutes. It's mostly because of my voice. Wolverine, thank you for coming in, buddy. Please stay safe, stay healthy. And give your best to give my best to your mom and your parent. I don't know if you always mention your mom. I know your dad too, but I don't know if they're still together or not. But give my best to your parents, seriously, and I hope she's still doing well as well. NHL, I appreciate that, but honestly, if you watch me all day long, you definitely get bored by then. I don't even know. Like, I watch my own videos because I have to, but I don't know if I could do that all day long. Frederick Anderson, Leafs won't sign he. I would think they're going to want to resign him. I don't know. Well, the live streams, it's different. The live streams that I can definitely see. I have a lot of fun with live streams, and yeah, I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. Definitely, right now, if he's not my number one subscriber, watcher of videos, commenter, it's NHL Hockey News right now, without a doubt. Will I ever live stream with Scott again? I'm hoping to. Scott, I don't know if he has the capability until I can use my OBS properly. When I can start live streaming with my OBS, then I can have Scott on to do the live streams with me. He said he would like to, and I would like to have him from time to time, without a doubt. I think my very first collaboration will be with Scott, because we've been planning to collaborate for like a long time. Scott's one of my very first. He's in. I don't think I had 30 subscribers when Scott subscribed. He'll probably tell you it was less. I don't remember the number. Scott's been around a long time. And then when I noticed he had a channel, and so I subscribed to him right away, and we've been kind of buddies ever since then. We've never met, but we've been getting along and enjoying each other's videos and helping each other out ever since then. So he's going to be my first collaboration. Hopefully that I'll be able to do those soon. But when my OBS is fixed up, which shouldn't be too long now, my boys will be able to start coming over again. Hopefully soon. So we'll get it fixed up. Okay, Jesse Alonen is 6'1", 20 years old, second-round pick. What's his future look like? That's a good question. I don't know a ton about Alonen. I hear really good things about him. I think he's going to be an NHLer. I don't know that he'll be a star NHLer at all. I don't know if he'll be more than a third-line player here in Montreal if he makes it here. I don't know enough about him to say that. But, yeah, I think, as Sir Lilius Pieper just put, mid-top 6, which I think he means he's a top 9 player, and I do see him more as in the third. He could play probably second line when need him to, but probably more of a third line player on a more of a scoring third line than a checking third line. But that's from what I can gather about him, but I haven't really seen a lot of him. But at least he's here. He's here with the AHL club now, and here to learn the North American game and all that. I expect he's an NHLer, that's for sure. Will he make it to the NHL with Montreal? This is a question. I don't know. He could be a guy that you could include in a trade. I could really see that, and him like kind of maybe thriving on another team. Looking into getting a new jersey, either 2020 Zucker Wild jersey, that's nice, or 50th gold jersey. And I have the 100 Classic Habs jersey of 2017. I also have the Sens too. Yeah, I got to get some jerseys. When I get my fire settlement, I spoke to my lawyer last week. Everything's still on hold. Do I think MB should call up Caden Primo next season or go with a different backup goalie? Honestly, I'd like to see them bring in a guy like I'll give it as an example because he's supposed to be a free agent, but he might not be. But I like a guy like Mike Smith, someone in that, like a former starter who's getting a little older that'll play the backup role and won't be expensive. I'd rather them bring in a guy like that for a year or two and let Primo. It's not mature is not the word, but I mean, get his experience, learn at the AHL level, and be absolutely ready for the NHL when he comes up here. So I'd like to see him at least one more year and possibly 2 more years out. But I do think that this playoffs could be a really good opportunity to get a look at Caden Primo in games that really mean something. I don't know that he would play in a actual playoff game, but I would like to see him actually be the backup for this play-in and see where that goes, because it could just be great experience for him just to be sitting as the backup and decided on the bench, watching what Carey Price does from close up like that. You need to start NHL need to start organizing your magnets. Too big of a collection. Yeah, I wish I had that problem. Although, you know, I do a lot of stuff that's so much like the hockey guy. I'm a little hesitant in that if I start using magnets like that, I'm gonna have to find it. If I get a magnetic board, to find a different way to do it. I don't know. I don't want to be accused of totally copying him, but he acknowledges the fact that we copy him, so he's cool with that. Not sure if it's confirmed. By the way, automatic 120. If I hadn't seen you here, I'm sorry, but I'm just noticing you. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate it. Not sure if it's confirmed. If Domi isn't going to play, it's not confirmed. But I don't see how he plays. We were talking about that earlier, buddy, and I don't have an answer to that. I don't think Paling's good enough to play third line center. I don't. Not right now, but I don't know what choice they might have here. I don't know. Who else can who can they shift there? I don't know. This could be a problem, and it's the reason why it's mostly the reason why I think Pittsburgh will beat them. I think if you take that away and Domi's playing and all that, I think Pittsburgh has a much harder game, a harder team to handle. But I think without Domi, it creates a huge hole. I don't know how they recover from that. So it's a good question. It's a good question. I don't think by putting, and it's no knock on Paling, but if you put Paling there, it doesn't make you a better team. It doesn't make you even as good as if Domi is there. So how do they beat Pittsburgh? I don't know. Primo full-time out expansion draft, so we don't expose Primo because the Seattle team will definitely take him. Very good point there. And that's another reason why I don't want to see Primo here too early. You want him not to be taken by Seattle. Remember, there's not a lot. You can't protect much. I think you got 7 players and a goalie you can protect. That's it. That's not a lot. So yeah. If we start Kincaid, Kincaid, we get that high pick. That's for sure. Yeah, Kincaid's he's not. I think they sent him home already. Don't even come back. Find another team. Griffin Gardner, that's a new name. Hi, thanks for coming in, buddy. Right at the end of the live stream. Sorry, but thanks for coming in. I like seeing new names. That's 3 or 4 new guys tonight that I hadn't noticed their names before. Do I like the Red Wings? I do not dislike the Red Wings. I actually like. I like the guy they traded away to Edmonton, FNSU, was one. I really liked him a lot. I do. I would like to get Mantha over here. I'm kind of hoping Montreal can somehow get Mantha away from them. Yeah, I do like the Red Wings. It's just because they finished where they did. I like a lot of their players. Yeah. So yes, I do. Are you from Detroit, or are you definitely a Red Wings fan? Are they getting any closer to naming the hub cities? I imagine they are. They said it might take about 3 or 4 weeks till they are able to announce that. And really looking like Vegas is going to be one of them. What kind of shampoo do you think Kirk Muller uses? He looks like Zach Morris. It's incredible. You mean his hair? At his age, his hair is really nice. I'm sure it's an expensive shampoo. He's got the money. Sorry, Rick, I'm an old name. Wait a second. What do you mean you're an old name? I'm missing you on that, buddy. I'm sorry. Why do you say you're an old name? Did you misspell something, or did you mean to say something else? Because I'm confused now. Joel Kravitz. Joel Kravitz. That's a name. I think I've seen you here before. If not, Welcome in. Thanks for coming in. Do I think that the Canadians will make a serious point to acquire Jesse Puljujarvi? I think that's a good player for them to maybe try to get away from that. Yeah, I think they would like to try to get him. I mean, he probably fit in well with the Finnish players we have here already. He's done really well back in Finland since he's been back there. He's still unproven here, but I would like to see them try. I think Puljujarvi might actually make a good addition here. Griffin from Canada. All right. Just curious. I mean, if you happen to be from Detroit. But no, all right. And like I said, thanks. I really appreciate the like Joel Kravitz. I think like 4 or 5 guys tonight I'm seeing for the first time. There, Sir Lilius Pieper. Compared to the new ones coming into the stream today. Oh, I'll get you. I got you. It's okay. I love the old names just as much as I love seeing the old names up there, just as much as seeing new names. Because if the old guys don't keep coming back, then I don't have much going on here. So yeah, I love that. I love that everybody comes back, and I love seeing new names added to it. So it's cool. So listen, we're at we're gonna cut it because we're right at the end. Here at the no more things coming in, and I'm at over an hour and a half, and my voice is starting to go. So we're gonna call it for the week. I really appreciate. Had so much fun. I was a little bit laid back. I get it because. So I'm sorry. I hope nobody was put off by that. It just very somber over everything that's going on in the world today. So, but you guys made it a little bit better. I really do appreciate that. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. We'll be back next week. This is going to be the same time, same day for a little while. I don't see that changing. We might add another day of the week. But now that I have a new member, Lee Max, I'm going to be doing a live stream every week for members. So now that we're going to be doing that, if that might sound good to you, you can check out memberships. And yeah, I guess that's where we're at. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. I really do appreciate it. You kind of cheered me up, actually, because I was almost thinking of canceling because I was kind of really I didn't know if I was in a good enough mood, but you guys have cheered me up. I'm in a much better mood now than I was before. So I'm babbling now. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm going to see you next week. Hope to see you on the comments of my next videos, and have a great week, everybody. I'm going to say peace out, y'all. See you next time.